It's one thing you gotta understand, man. And I'm gonna jump straight in. You gotta understand though that the universe is a perception of the mind. It's like an idea that comes from our minds. You know what I mean? Because when you think about it, they say we have 6,500 thoughts per day or whatever. I think it's more. Me personally, I probably have like, don't mind my squeaking chair. I probably have like 10,000 thoughts a day. I think too much. I need to think less, move more in my instinctual, nature and shit like that. But so I would say that probably rounds up to like 10 million thoughts a year for me at least. So I'm like, damn, bro, shit is crazy, man. I'm saying, and you look at like, cause you got what, like you got regular thoughts, which is positive, negative, the deeper thoughts, and then like intrusive thoughts and shit. In my shit you don't want to intrusive thoughts. You know what those are? Shit thoughts you don't like thinking. You don't want to even tell anybody you thought them, having to do with death and shit like that. You know, deep thoughts are more cognitive thoughts. Do aliens exist? Shit like that. And then you got the regular ones, just positive and negative. I'm not even talking about dreams. You know what I'm saying? You got people who have like OCD. You got people who have schizophrenia, anxiety, PTSD. So, you're not even really accounting for those when it comes to the thoughts. And another thing, like you got like take somebody who has like a person who's been through a lot of negative situations when they were younger, right? They might have been through some trauma, and that's why like they as they get older they go through some more negative and traumatic situations because they create the universe is what they perceive. So when you focus and when you're younger and you're so used to focusing on negative thoughts and negative situations, you create that a lot of times when you're older. You know what I mean? Because you're concentrating on that. That's why it's important to concentrate mostly on the positive thoughts because it's impossible to eliminate negative thoughts. You can't eliminate negative thoughts. You can't eliminate intrusive thoughts. They're gonna happen every once in a while. They just pop up. You know what I mean? They just pop up. So, and but it's like I said, it's not an excuse because you have a lot of successful people who came from rough and negative situations and environments and shit like that. Don't mind my squeaking chair. Once again, you know what I mean? So a thought is it's a it's a it's a neuron firing off neurotransmitters, right? To other neurons that do a domino effect and fire off more neurotransmitters and light up shit in the brain, thought worms and electrical signals and shit like that, right? So when you look at like the morphological yeah, I'm using scientific shit to fucking make sense and shit. You know what I mean? So when you use like the morphological features of the universe, right, and the brain, and they say the brain has 70 billion neurons, and the universe has 100 billion galaxies or whatever. You know, it's like which probably rounds out to like 85 billion each. You know what I mean? And then you look at like the cosmic web, which is like the 3D structure of galaxies and shit, right? And then you got like, all right, think of like an asteroid, and you got like an asteroid would be compared to like an astrocyte or whatever in the mind, and then a planet would be like a glial or whatever, and then a neuron would be fucking like a star or some shit like that. I don't know. I'm just going off the top, but so you got some shit like that, right? A lot of structures are the same. The percentages, the neurons is almost the same as the number of galaxies in the universe. 70% of the mind is water, just about, and then 70% of the universe is dark matter or whatever, which actually could be water. It could be water in another form when you think about it. And I don't know for sure. I can't prove none of this shit as far as the dark matter. or us being in water. I can't prove that. Like, that's impossible. But you got to think it could be water in another form, and and does water have to have H2O? And I don't think dark matter has H2O. I don't fucking know. I have no idea. I mean, I don't think it does. I haven't really studied up on dark matter like that, or what it is. But we could possibly be floating in water. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I said, it's important to control to kind of focus on more positive thoughts. If you want to have a positive life, you know what I'm saying? You gotta focus on more positive thoughts to create your own to create the universe how you want to. At least to the most, of your ability. You can't control, most of what goes on in the universe and shit like that, but you can control your perception of it and shit like that. So you know what I'm saying? And you got like it's like this, man. It's a possibility that we could live out each living being's life and see, like, from their perspective, like, and that would make the universe infinite, because you have to cycle through every living thing, not just on this planet, but every other planet in the universe and shit like that. And you gotta, because the universe is experiencing itself through the perspective of different bodies and shit like that. You know what I mean? So you are the universe. That is the look. So it's like, if you kill somebody, you're actually killing yourself. It's a part of you, the universe. So one day after you die, you might, when you after you cycle through a couple experiences, you're going to have to experience yourself killing you. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean by you could experience every life cycle of every living thing that has ever existed. Everything you could, I'm telling you, you're gonna have to experience being a slave, being a master, being a dog, being, tortured, being a rat, being like I'm talking everything. And that's a lot of things in existence, a lot of living creatures. You have to be, every jellyfish that ever lived. And do you know how long that's going to take you to get through? Because there's constantly being, new creatures and shit being born. All right, until the universe goes through its cycle, and it will eventually end. But I mean, bro, that's an eternity. So you will be eternally experiencing perceptions and shit like that in consciousness. You'll eternally be going in and out of consciousness, experiencing life and death. It's not a one way, bus stop and shit like that. It's not any of that. You know what I mean? It's really not, when you compare the universe to the mind and shit like that. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that's what it is, but that's a definite possibility when you look at the universe and see that it is a perception of the mind. You know what I mean? And but you would ask, well, after a person dies or whatever, the universe is still going, and we have proof of this because people die. You know what I mean? The universe is still here. But you got to look at it like this: if you chop your pinky off, that's just a part. The pinky will die. If the pinky will die, right? Do you die? Does the Nah, you are still. You're still here. You're still conscious. You have to look at it like that. You can chop apart. You can chop your arm off. The arm will die. My arm's alive right now. Yeah, I can move it. All that shit. But if I chop it off, I won't be able. I will have no control over it. It won't. It will be dead. It will stop moving. Right. But you cut somebody's head off. That's a different story. But anyway, so it's like you're fuck. What the fuck is it called? I can't think of the name of it. Like, after you go, and after you die, right? After you die, right? Um, you don't just you don't just lose, your thoughts and memories. Your life experiences, they go back into the void, into the universe, into you. They would, I guess, you would consider them petabytes or whatever, like gigabytes, megabytes, terabytes, and shit like that. You would have, I guess they would call them petabytes. Imagine your life experiences and your memories and shit like that as petabytes. And really, memories do not. We call them memories. Life experiences are what gets sifted out into the universe and shit like that. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, it's a no brainer, man. It's a no brainer. I need a new chair. This shit is squeaking and shit. But but yeah, the universe is a perception. It's an idea created by our own minds, and there's always that possibility is there that we would have to live out or experience every living being in the universe is experience until the universe has another cycle or whatever. And because well, how would that be possible? Would you going back in time, time traveling like in different realities or different dimensions? Time doesn't exist. So the past is you could look directly to straight ahead or whatever. If you could look through another dimension through all that shit, you could see the past. You'll be able to see the past. You can see the past now if you look into the stars. When you look at the stars, you're doing nothing but looking at the past. They're just images from billions of years ago. The light is finally getting to us on Earth. So, um, yeah, like I said, you could look into the past if you're able to see into past this dimension that we're in, but we can't in this physical form and shit like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of how that shit is, man. Yeah, it's all a perception of the mind. So you have to once you understand that and learn that, you will create your own reality and shit like that, and you'll move a little bit freer because you'll see that you know what? At the end of the day, well, actually, no. I'm gonna tell you, you won't just do what you want, but you'll do the good that you need to do, or what you perceive as good, or whatever. You'll because your life experiences will get dispersed into the universe and shit like that. You know what I mean? You can whatever you want to call it, acoustic records or whatever. You can call it that. All that shit. But that's another video and shit. But you know, damn man, I've been consistently inconsistent, man. I gotta stop that shit. But that's what comes with this shit sometimes though. So yeah, I'll catch y'all on the next one. You know what I'm saying? Like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. Share it. Yeah, I'm out though.